This exact aircraft in this photo is currently on display at March Air Force Base Museum located in Riverside, California. Now, I've only been there once in my entire life, and that was when I was like 3 or 4 years old, so I have little to no memory of it, and I'm hoping to go back in the future, and when I do, I definitely will make a video about it, so stay tuned. Well guys, I can't believe I'm finally here again, but here we are at beautiful March Air Force Base Air Museum here in sunny Riverside, California. The last time I've been here was around 10 or 11 years ago, and today is my second ever time back at the museum, but the problem is, I don't remember when I first came here, so this is technically my first time, remembering at least, coming to this museum. So let's get the tour started. This memorial is dedicated to all the dog trainers here in the military. This monument was gifted by the P-38 National Association members to March Air Museum. This monument is dedicated to thousands of people who served in the U.S. Air Force. Really cool. There's a few memorials here for people who have contributed to the Army. This guy was born in 1896, and he's a war hero. Here's a couple plaques for the museum. They look really nice. And we're about to enter this building right here. All right, first time entering this building in over 10 years. Oh, wow. Oh, dang, this is cool. Wow. Here are some British artifacts from World War I. Here's some German artifacts. And here's some United States artifacts. Really cool. Here is the world's fastest plane, the SR-71 Blackbird. I have this exact model on display at my house because my father bought a model of this back in, I don't know, maybe 2013, I want to say. But dang, seeing her in person and seeing her this big, it's a really cool sight. They have an old piano right here, and it says unless you know how to play, then you can't play it. I personally do know a song, but given the environment that I'm currently in, I'm a little shy, so I'm gonna back away from it. Here are some rewards, but this one's the one I'm most interested about. The Purple Heart. I heard only people with the highest of courage can earn one of these in their life. And one guy who ran against George W. Bush, I keep forgetting his name, he actually won 3 of these. That is quite a feat. Gosh, this really reminds me of all the aircraft carrier models that I had as a kid. This one's just a big upgraded version of it. Dang, childhood memories are just flooding back to me. This is the SR-71's drag chute. So whenever the plane would land, it would pop out from right in between the vertical stabilizers right here and help slow the plane down on landing. This is artifacts during the Cuban Missile Crisis. Here's one of the spy planes that was used. One of these was actually shot down during the crisis. Here's a map of where the missiles were. These 2 rocket boosters right here came right from the space shuttle itself. Right under it right here. It's just really cool being able to see these in person. And trust me, they are much bigger in person than they look on video. It feels weird knowing that this is the exact same experience people back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s had when they used to fly in these cramped airplanes like this. Here is the cockpit of the SR-71. I just can't imagine being inside this aircraft around 30,000 feet in the air, traveling over Mach 2. Here is the MQ-9 Reaper drone used by the US military. Fully autonomous, no pilot in the pilot seat. And I remember my parents bought me a model of this, and I have so many memories of chewing on the wings and chewing on the nose of the aircraft and just scraping it down to where its paint is almost non-existent.
Okay, First thing you do is push all the switches down, all 5. Okay, now you just turn all the lights, the instruments on. Now, when you're up in the air and you're flying, you want to go left, push that left foot hard against the floor. You feel that click? Well, that's the tail turning so you fly. Fly right, you do the same thing here. Okay, now we turn that on. Reach over here, bring your knee this way, and take that knob, pull it back. Now push it back forward hard. Boom, okay, you just started the engines. To show you the running. You know. Okay. Now that you got those going, take hold of this, pull it back, you're going up. Now push it forward, you'll be going down. Just to fly, you just pull it back in the middle, and then it's just like a car. The nose goes a little down, you pull that a little up, it comes back up. Now, when you're up there flying and things go bad, grab that thing right there and pull it. That's your ejection seat.
Oh.
Don't worry, it's not working. You can't pull it out. If you could pull out, you know where you'd land? About at that donation box. Now, you do have a radio here, but you don't have a headset. You don't have a phone or a cord to hook it up with. Here's a couple more buttons can be turned and played with.
Here's the cockpit of a B-47 Stratojet. Looks really cool. This is the cockpit of the XB-70 Valkyrie. It looks pretty similar to the Concorde, doesn't it? Well, yes it is, because it actually is a supersonic aircraft. Only 2 of these were ever created, and one of them was lost in a mid-air collision with a starfighter, and the other one is currently on display at another museum. But this is what the cockpit looked like. Here's some artifacts from the Lady Be Good aircraft, which was a bomber that crashed in the Sahara Desert after running out of fuel. The people on the plane didn't know that they were pushed off course by over 450 miles before they bailed out in the desert. Some of them tried trekking through the desert for over 100 miles, but none of them made it, and every single one succumbed to the harsh elements of the Sahara Desert. It wouldn't be until 15 years later until this aircraft would be found wrecked in the desert. We're on the second story. Here's the SR-71, and here are all the medals and rewards that people in the military earned. I had no idea there were so many of them, but it's really cool seeing them all in person. I had no idea the museum had an exhibit on this, but they have actual artifacts from the LZ-129 Hindenburg. I was not expecting this, but here they are. They have some actual girder stuff, girder pieces from the actual superstructure of the Hindenburg. I had no idea they had anything on the Hindenburg here, especially in California. We are across the state, completely across the country from where the Hindenburg blew up in Lakehurst, New Jersey back in 1937. But here it is, here in sunny Southern California. What a shock. Here is Captain Wilbur Gus Thomas, and on January 28th, 1947, his F-7F-3P Tiger Cat crashed near Lake Elsinore, killing him and another occupant on board. And this is the artifacts from the actual wreck, including one of the propeller blades from his twin-engine aircraft. This is pretty haunting to look at. Looks like this exhibit is for space exploration. Let's check it out. Oh, this is pretty cool. Looks like they got a Houston station right here, or at least I'm assuming that's what it is. Humongous globe model. More astronaut suits. Ooh, this is pretty cool. They got the Saturn V. I'm assuming this is a older plan of the Saturn V. One of these is the Mercury ones. I'm pretty sure this one's the Mercury. Might be wrong about that though. Oh, and here are all the space patches, or at least some of them, I assume. This is pretty cool. Oh, and here's the C-141 Starlifter. That's pretty cool. I did a little more reading. It turns out that the crew of Apollo 13, including Jim Lovell, Fred Hayes, and Jack Swigert, gave personal signatures to the crew of the C-141 Starlifter, which is what brought them back to their home after their safe return on Earth. Here is a model of Sputnik, an extremely small model of it though. The real one is actually kind of big, around 23 inches in diameter if I remember correctly, which I think is close to 2 feet. Here are some actual meteorite fragments. Look just like they came from the moon. These are, if I'm correct, part of the heat shield that was on the bottom of the space shuttle. Look at all these artifacts. This is really cool. Here's a bomber pilot.
That roof tile was from the roof in Hiroshima.
And all of this, I'm assuming, is World War II. This is really, really cool. There's so many artifacts here, it's almost impossible to count them. Oh, and it continues into here. Goodness, this is a lot of them. Here's some more artifacts. And here's I'm assuming a World War II battle jeep. We got so many more artifacts over here. It's gonna take all day to review this footage and see what I missed. This is what it's like to be a war prisoner during the Vietnam War. Pretty creepy. And this is what it's like being a prisoner during World War II. Just sleeping on these wooden bunks. I imagine you get so many splinters from this thing. This was one of the prison buildings that they used during the war. Here's a few more artifacts. I got a little excited. I thought this was a model of a DC-9, but no, it's of a C-9 Nightingale. Although it does look pretty similar to a 727 and a DC-9. These are all artifacts from the Pacific Campaign during World War II between the United States and Japan. I just got off of my history class talking about World War II, so I'm very reminiscent of everything that happened here. And it's just really cool to see in person. Look at that. I'm pretty sure this is a model of the Wright brothers' first plane. We got a few more planes over here. This one kind of looks like the Red Baron. Even though this area is definitely more open, I'd assume that this area is prone to expansion sometime in the future. So we just came out of the museum, and now we're in this helicopter area where they have a wide range of different aircraft, more specifically helicopters. And I recognize this one. I keep forgetting its actual name, but I know it's nicknamed the Flying Banana because, well, it's shaped like a banana. Let me actually check out its name, because I keep forgetting the actual name of it. An H-21B workhorse, sorry. I have dyslexia, so don't blame me. Let's see if we could get a glimpse inside of it. A little hard to see, but this is definitely Vietnam War era. I recognize this aircraft. Me and my brother always used to call this the Apache helicopter, but it's actually an AH-F1 Cobra. I don't know where the name Apache came from. Maybe it is a similar aircraft like this, but me and Carson always used to call these thin aircrafts Apaches. Wonder why. I'm not 100% sure what this is supposed to represent. Maybe a war bunker of some kind. At least it's a good area to get away from the sun in here, because it's 90 degrees outside and I'm already burning in here. This is the cockpit of one of the helicopters, and I think you could actually get inside of it. Okay, you can't. Oh yeah, I just realized. There's glass on each side. You can't get inside of it. But at least it's pretty cool to see the inside of it. Now I know I won't have time to go over every single aircraft here, so I'm only gonna go over the notable ones around this area. Starting with this one. This one is a Coast Guard aircraft. That's pretty recognizable. At first I thought due to its paint job it looked like a firefighting aircraft, but no, it's from the US Coast Guard. Let me check what kind it is. An HU-16E Albatross. Hopefully I'm saying that name right. This aircraft looks all too familiar, but I can't for the life of me remember if I even know the name of this one. But I'm gonna check it out now. The KC-97L Stratofreighter, sorry. Apparently I didn't recognize it. But from here, it kind of looks like the Airbus Beluga, doesn't it? This one kind of got me excited because it kind of resembles the B-29 bombers that were responsible for dropping the 2 nuclear bombs over Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I mean, it looks similar, but I'm pretty sure it's actually not it. But let me check what it is. Oh, it's a B-29. Oh, but this one was used during, World War II and the Korean War. Yeah, but I highly doubt this one was one of them that was dropping the bombs. At least it's still pretty cool. Now obviously this is just a model, but this perfectly explains how they transported the little boy bomb onto the B-29, which is right in front of me. I know I'm not 100% expert on aircraft, but I bet you that one of these jets right here is a starfighter. Let me go check them out. Apparently none of them were starfighters. I guess I do get airplanes confused. This aircraft looks pretty familiar, but I don't know its name. A B-47A Stratojet. I've heard Stratojet. No wonder this aircraft looks familiar. I mean, I probably heard the term before, but probably don't know what the aircraft looks like. But then again, it does look pretty familiar. Now this plane obviously looks extremely familiar, so I'm gonna quickly check it out. I can't remember its name, but it looks very familiar. A B-52 Stratoforce. Yeah, I recognize the name. This aircraft is also humongous. I know it doesn't look super big on camera, but then again, this thing is ginormous. In my opinion, this aircraft needs no introduction, because to me, I know exactly what this aircraft is. I see them fly out of March all the time. This is obviously a Stratotanker. But just to confirm, I'm gonna look really stupid if it's actually wrong. And of course it is, it's a Stratotanker. Easily recognizable aircraft. Now I'm gonna make another bet. I'm gonna bet that this massive plane is a MD-11. Not 100% sure if I'm safe with that guess, but let's check it out. And FYI, this plane is like 2 times bigger than the Stratotanker back there. This thing is legit tall and humongous. I mean, look at the wheel wells. Those things are already like 7 feet off the ground. And this is a KC-10 extender. I was wrong. Now here's an oddball. This one's from the Royal Canadian Air Force. And yet here it is at March Air Force Base Museum. This is from the Cold War. It's called a flying boxcar. Because it kind of resembles an SC-7 short skyvan. Maybe it's a sister to it. Now this is the aircraft I've been most excited to see at March. Because I remember passing by this aircraft every single time we were on the 215 freeway. And I only noticed until recently that I had an original printed photo of this exact aircraft, which is the C-141 Starlifter. And I have it at my house. It was gifted to Chief Master Sergeant Joe Crump by the 63rd Military Aircraft Wing of Decommissioned Officers. Yep, C-141B Starlifter. It's just crazy to think that I have this exact aircraft with an original printed photo gifted to a Chief Master of the Army at my house as I speak. That's pretty cool. Here's a bench right here. dedicated to all who flew, maintained, and supported the C-141 aircraft. I mean, for me, it's honestly just kind of surreal. This is technically my second-ish time seeing it up close in person, but this is the only time that I'm actually gonna remember it. And it's weird knowing that I have an original printed photo of this exact aircraft in my house. This is, I guess you could say it's a bucket list item crossed off for me. This aircraft is pretty interesting. This is an SNJ-4 Texan. And this exact type of aircraft, mind you, was at Paris Valley Airport to celebrate its 40th anniversary. And, well, it crashed on landing. Obviously it was recovered, but I had no idea that this is the exact same type of aircraft. Just feels weird seeing this in person and knowing that this was used a lot during World War II. Now this aircraft to me is also very recognizable. This is obviously a DC-3. I've seen some of these at Paris Valley Airport before, and it feels weird. Skytrain. Okay, that's got to be a code name, because this is literally a DC-3. Well, anyways, I've never seen like a DC-3 up close like this in person. It's kind of surreal, not gonna lie. I remember seeing this on the freeway being added to March Airfield for the very first time. My mother thought that it was a rocket booster from the space shuttle, but I had some doubts because of how small it is. But being up here in person, it's pretty dang big, but I'm gonna officially get the confirmation. It's a solid rocket booster, space exploration. It doesn't say, but dang, look at that. I'm not sure if you can see. Oh my gosh. Do you hear that echo? Oi! That's crazy. But dang, seeing it in person, it's actually much bigger than it looks on the freeway. Okay, I quickly scanned the QR code just to get confirmation, and it turns out this rocket booster was actually on the space shuttle during its time in operation. Who would have known? Alrighty guys, that's gonna end the tour here. I really loved the March Air Force Space Museum. Definitely not what I remembered back in 2011, if I remember correctly. And hey, the museum is definitely well worth a visit. I highly recommend it to anyone here in Southern California. Alrighty, thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and click the bell so you never miss out on any more of my historical content. And I will hopefully see you in the next video. Peace.